Welcome friends. So I have finished my Cooc Wyo coloring book 100% to completion and did it all pop culture mashup style. So we're talking Tiny Toon Adventures, Looney Tunes, Disney, Star Wars, lots of others. So without further ado, here is my completed flip through. So here's a flip through of my Cooc Wyo coloring book Girl Moments Volume 2. I didn't do much with the title pages, I just colored them and covered them in some washi tape. On the left-hand side, I covered up the bleed through with paint or tissue paper. Here I thought I saw a Putty Tat, and I added Tweety Bird and Sylvester looking in the window. I added Pepe Le Pew, and I did try to date most of these. I just love Pepe. He's probably my second favorite Looney Tune of all time. This is probably my favorite page as far as the coloring. I just added Remy here from Ratatouille. And Ratatouille has some great quotes that are really passionate about cooking, but I'm not really passionate about cooking, so I just use this quote, "Change is nature, the part we can influence." This one I added Babbitt and Costello. So I grew up watching Abbott and Costello. I love them, and I always loved Babbitt and Costello, who were based off of them. And I put "I'm a bad boy," which was Costello's catchphrase. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I added Roadrunner and Coyote here and just put beep beep on the left-hand side. And the date is on the coloring page that the girl is coloring here. Here I added Marvin the Martian. He is my favorite Looney Tune, and I put "Take Me to Your Leader." This one was for Soraya Colors, May the Coloring Be With You 2026 tag, and I changed the cat under the table to Grogu, and then all of the fashion in here has that kind of Star Wars look, so I thought this was a great one to turn Star Wars. This one I added Foghorn, Leghorn, and Junior, and just put "Boy, I Say Boy." Here's Perry the Platypus. Phineas and Ferb is like, I think, the greatest cartoon of all time. Here's Perry, and I added the roller coaster from the first episode of Phineas and Ferb. It was after my time, and I thought it was fantastic. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more of my videos. I will be returning to R.J. Hampson's Steampunk Revivals next, so you don't want to miss that. This is also one of my favorites. So I added Courage the Cowardly Dog and then put a man-eating plant over in the corner. There is an episode of Courage with a man-eating plant. It looks a little bit different, but I decided to style it more like Audrey, and I put the intro to Courage the Cowardly Dog show on the left-hand side. I also turned this one into a Grogu-themed coloring page. I added Grogu, and I put the New Republic sign on the fridge and some alien lettering, and then put "Do or do not, there is no try," quote from Yoda. This one I had so many ideas for. I thought about Dexter's Laboratory. I also thought about Gossamer from Looney Tunes, but finally I settled on Pinky and the Brain because they were always my favorite. The reason for all the washi tape is the binding was really poor and my pages were falling out. The book was falling apart before I did that, so I had to kind of hold the pages in there. So if you can find a better publication, the publishing company that made this book was just terrible, and not all of the Cooc Wyo coloring books are the same. After this one, things started to get really difficult. I really had to rack my brain for the rest of these. So this one seemed kind of haunted to me, so I turned the cats into little ghost cats and added Scooby-Doo, and I put all their catchphrases on the left-hand side. This one, it took me a while, but keeping with the 70s theme, decided to go for Josie and the Pussycats. It was a little bit before my time, but I changed the poster to one of their Josie and the Pussycats poster, and then themed everything cat patterns. This one I also struggled with. I finally landed on Barbie, so I just added Barbie logo on her robe. So this was one of the first ones I did, and this was before I decided to do pop culture, and I just made these tentacles coming up out of the pool. I had 3 of those. This I turned into Herbie, because what else could it possibly be other than Herbie? This one ended up being my favorite. I did not think it was going to be so great, but I added Cat in the Hat, and he's tearing out her page here, and then I added Thing 1 and Thing 2, and then went in with the crosshatch style to make it Dr. Seuss themed, and then put look at me, look at me, look at me now. It is fun to have fun, but you have to know how. And I have big plans for this style. I was so nervous to go in with this cross-hatching, and it ended up looking so great. I am going to be revisiting this. I have big plans for this, a pretty big project that I will be doing in the future. But this ended up being my favorite page, and everything is blue and red because I never noticed before, but in Cat in the Hat, it only has 2 colors, reds and blues. This one turned out really cute. I added plant-themed Pokemon in the background. I don't know what this one is called. See, this one's Bellsprout and Bulbasaur, and put Gotta Catch 'em All on the left-hand side. So I put Cosmo and Wanda in here. I know that Fairly Odd Parents is not a huge pop culture reference, but I had no other idea on what to do with this. So that's what we turned it into, was Fairly Odd Parents. And I put 2 wrongs don't make a right from Wanda, but 3 rights make a left from Cosmo. That always stuck with me for some reason. I always thought it was cute. I knew I wanted to add Betty Boop in here somewhere because what's more pop culture cartoon than Betty Boop? And this page, the girl had this cute like head wrap, and I knew that there were several renditions of Betty Boop that had that cute little head wrap, so I added Betty Boop in here watching her make candles. So I don't know, maybe she's training Betty Boop or something. And another Pepe Le Pew. So I had this girl who had already gotten paint on her dog, so I thought, why not just get paint on the cat too? So we got Penelope Pussycat and Pepe Le Pew, and then I made her eyes really wide when she realizes there's a skunk near her. This one I themed Mighty Ducks. I put the Mighty Ducks logo. I would have loved to have done the original logo, but it was just too tiny for me to do that small, so we did the one from the 3rd movie, and then I put Ducks Fly Together and put quack, quack, quack all over the page. We showed this to my son and his friends, and they just thought the quacking in the classroom was like the funniest thing ever. Here I just added Grogu, and I put the symbol for the New Republic on her shirt here with some alien words, and put May the Force be with you to turn it Star Wars themed. I hated this page. I thought it looked awful, and I went through tons of pages trying to figure out what to do with it, and finally I saw somebody do this brick and graffiti on the background and thought it looked really good. So I did my own kind of idea there, and I added Bart and his catchphrase, "Eat my shorts." I don't know what's more pop culture than The Simpsons. It's like the longest running cartoon show of all time. Another Grogu page. I did 5 of these for the hashtag, and then I just added all this alien lettering and turned the fruit kind of alien themed, and Grogu reaching for the fruit. This one took me so long, so I spent so much time drawing all the Ninja Turtle in here. I turned her into April, so April has red hair and is always wearing that yellow jumpsuit, so I turned her into April. Added all of the Ninja Turtle in here. Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael, and Shredder, of course. If I could go back and redo it, I would do a brick in the background instead of the mountains, because I think the mountains ended up kind of washing out the turtles because it was all too much green and blue. Spent a lot of time on that and ended up being a little disappointed. This one I turned into Goofy. So Goofy had all these old shows about Goofy tries this, Goofy tries skiing, Goofy tries surfing, and there's a scene in Goofy Tries Surfing where he gets the board caught in his wetsuit. So I had him standing in the ocean looking perplexed. So this is another one that I had done prior to turning it into pop culture reference. I love this face here. This is probably my favorite face out of all of these pages. It's one of my favorites. And then I put Acme Cartoon Files on the left-hand side and put it classified for the new movie that's coming out, Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, which I think is going to be fantastic, because this was done kind of Acme style. This is the last one I did. I skipped it because I could not figure out what to do. After spending a lot of time staring at it, I turned it into Gilmore Girls. So I added Rory's name on the bag and the black umbrella from that episode where they try to jump off with umbrellas, and Luke Steiner, and turned the dog into Paul Anka. They had this flowery porch furniture, so I tried to match that and match the blue house. So that one was done. Here I did Jurassic Park. So I put the Jurassic Park logo on everything, and, you know, she's taking pictures of these dinosaur creatures, and she's got her ticket here for the park. And then in the background, I've got the gate with the T-Rex breaking through the gate. Well, maybe I'll zoom in here so you can see it. So I'm not a big Hello Kitty person, but I was watching, I think it was Sunny Soul Coloring, and she mentioned that she liked Hello Kitty, and I thought, well, Hello Kitty's very pop culture, so I turned this into Hello Kitty. And Starbucks had a Hello Kitty barista that they sold, and so I turned Hello Kitty into a Starbucks barista, and then it gave me a chance to use all of this washi tape that I thought I would never possibly find a use for, and it kind of matched, so I ended up finally finding a use for all this weird washi tape that I didn't think I was ever going to use. This one was a lot of fun. So I put cats out of the bag on the left-hand side, and then I turned all of my cats different things. So I started off with baby Garfield, and I was just going to leave it as baby Garfield, but I thought I really needed to pull out all the stops here. So we've got Figaro from Pinocchio, got Yzma Cat from Emperor's New Groove, even Pussyfoot from Mark Anthony and Pussyfoot, one of my favorite cartoons. You should need to go watch it. And Cheshire Cat, and then the 3 kittens from Aristocats. So I themed all of the cats, and I thought this just came out so adorable. And this was the last one I did for May the Coloring Be With You, and so I just added Grogu and changed the words to alien words. I should have changed the price tags, but I didn't realize it until just now. And Mario. So I had a request for Mario. I did not ignore it, I just didn't know when I was ever going to use it, so I finally got Mario in here. So I turned her into Pauline, Mayor Pauline, and I added a Goomba, and then I put all the eyes on the flowers and the bees and the tube. I added some coins and Mario. I was kind of thinking the flowers looked like Mario Wonder, so that's why I turned this one into Mario. I should have changed the eyes on the capybara, but I should have made him look more Mario style. And then I added the blocks. This one was also a challenge. I looked at this one forever before I finally decided what I was going to do, so I turned it into Ghostbusters. Okay, so I've got the light beam here, and they're catching this ghost, and I've got the trap and the PKE reader, and then I put Ghostbusters playing on the iPod, and then a Ghostbusters drink with Slimer, and then Ghostbusters is on the book here. This one was the third one that I did before I turned this pop culture reference. I just made it a exploding volcano, and then I changed it to I Lava You from the Pixar short film I Lava You. This one was a challenge. This one took me forever. So there's this cute cartoon where Mickey is playing soccer, and then I put all of the Mickey characters in the background that are watching. And this page was really weird. This weird section in the middle, I think it's supposed to be like part of the court or turf, but it just, every page I looked at looked really, really weird. So I turned it into a retaining wall because I just thought it was funky. And I also love the show The Big Green. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's super cute, soccer show on Disney. And I turned her jersey into a Big Green jersey. So we got a twofer on this one. The Big Green, it was kind of overshadowed by the Mighty Ducks because they came out around the same time, but it's also a cute sports movie. So we did the Big Green and Mickey. Alright, and the last one. So this is Picnic. We've got Yogi Bear looking at their picnic here, and Boo Boo trying to steal it, and I put the Jellystone Park and the Yogi Bear logo on their hoodies. Well, there you have it. That is my Cooc Wyo coloring book, Girl Moments, Volume 2, 100% to completion. This is a chunky book. It was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this flip through. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more of my videos. I will be returning to RJ Hampson's Steampunk Revivals next, so you don't want to miss that.